All Leechcraft at the surface of the Moonbreaker. I say. Now, fire the spit tubes. Hundreds of empty suits fire out the spit tubes as they would in an iron rain. 200 Leechcraft launch from the four hangars of my ship, spewed out in a stream of ugly metal. Each could carry 50 men to pump into the guts of the Moonbreaker. Controlled remotely by blue pilots on board Persephone's hull, they race fast as they can to cross the dangerous space between the two capital ships, and are wiped away before they make it half the distance, as Rogue detonates a series of low-yield nuclear warheads. He guessed my move, and now my flight of ships is nothing but debris floating between the two vessels. Emergency sirens flash on the ceiling of my bridge. Our long-range sensors are down. Our guns smashed. Multiple deck breaches. Hold together, I murmur. Hold together, Pax. We're receiving a transmission, Virga says. Rogue appears in the air before me. Darrow? He sees Victor too. Victor, it is done. Your ship is dead in the water. Tell your fleet to surrender, and I will spare your lives. He thinks he can end this rebellion without putting us in the grave. The entitlement of it rankles me. But we both know he needs my body to show the world. If he destroys my ship and kills me, they'll never find me in the wreck. I look at Victor. She spits on the ground in challenge. What is your answer? Rogue demands. I bend my fingers crudely. Fuck you. Rogue looks off screen. Legate truces. Launch all Leechcraft. Tell the Cloud Knight to bring me the Reaper. Dead or alive, just make sure he's recognizable. Chapter 46. Helldiver. I looked to the Blues at their station. Most were here when I took their ship, when I renamed her. They became pirates with Orion, rebels with me. You all heard him, I say. Well done. You did the Pax proud. Now say goodbye, get your shuttle, and I'll see you soon. There's no shame in this. They salute, and Captain Pellis opens the hatches in the bottom of the pit. The Blues begin their slide down the narrow shaft into the berth where there should be escape pods, but we replaced with heavily armored shuttles. My own escape pod is built into the side of the bridge, but Victra and I aren't escaping. Not today. Time to go, baby boy, Victra says. Now. I pat the doorframe of the bridge. Thank you, Pax, I say to the ship. One more friend lost to the cause. I follow Victra and the Marines in a sprint down the empty halls. Red lights pulse, sirens wail. Small thumps reverberate through the hull as we go. Rogue's Leechcraft will be swarming the Pax by now, melting holes through her sides and pumping in boarding parties of greys and obsidians, led by gold knights. Instead of me, they'll find an abandoned ship. A molten circle throbs on the hallway wall beside a grav lift as we board. I watch the orange deepen till it is the color of the sun. The drums still beat through the as we go. Aren't escaping. Not today. Time to go, baby boy, Victor says. Now. I pat the doorframe of the bridge. Thank you, Pax, I say to the ship. One more friend lost to the cause. I follow Victra and the Marines in a sprint down the empty halls. Red lights pulse, sirens wail. Small thumps reverberate through the hull as we go. Rogue's Leechcraft will be swarming the Pax by now, melting holes through her sides and pumping in boarding parties of greys and obsidians, led by gold knights. Instead of me, they'll find an abandoned ship. A molten circle throbs on the hallway wall beside a grav lift as we board. I watch the orange deepen till it is the color of the sun. The drums still beat through the speakers. Thump, thump, thump. Victra leaves a mine behind as a present for the boarding party. We hear it detonate 10 levels above us as the grav lift deposits us on level -3 in the auxiliary hangar. Here my true assault force waits. 30 heavy assault shuttles with their ramps down. Blues performing flight checks in the cockpits. Orange mechanics working furiously to prime engines, fill fuel tanks. Each ship is filled with 100 Valkyrie in full smart armor. Reds and greys accompany them in equal number for special weapons tasks. The Obsidians stomp their pulse axes and razors as I run past, a thunderous chanting of my name. I find Holiday in the center of the hangar, standing with Sephi and a coterie of Valkyrie, who will be my personal squad. With them, praying in a small group, are the Helldivers I requested from Dancer. They are less than half the size of the Obsidians. Ship is breached, I say to Holiday. She jerks her head at a squad of Reds who rush off to cover our back. Distance is less than a click. No, Holiday says with an elated laugh. That close? I know, I reply excitedly. They want to get close, so we can't shoot down their leech craft. So now we give them a kiss, Victra says with a little purr for Holiday. And some tongue. Holiday bobs her cinder block head up and down. Then let's stop John. Sephi pulls a handful of dried mushrooms from a satchel. Lord spread? She asks. You will see dragons. War's scary enough, darling, Victra says. Then, as an aside, I one time tripped on that shit with Cassius for a week on the Thermic. She catches my look. Well, it was before I met you. And have you ever seen him with his shirt off? Don't tell Sebra, by the way. Holiday and I abstain from the mushrooms as well. Automatic weapons fire rattles from a hall just beyond the hangar. The hour is here. I boom to the 3,000 Obsidian in the assault shuttles. Sharpen your axes. Remember your training. Irgla Ragnar! Irgla Ragnar! They roar. It means Ragnar lives. The Queen of the Valkyrie salutes her razor to me and begins the Obsidian war chant. It spreads through the black armored assault craft. A horrible, dread sound. This time, it is on my side. I've brought the Valkyrie to the heavens, and now I let them loose. Victor, are you primed? I asked, worried about Antonia being so near. Is my friend distracted by her sister? I'm gory damn splendid, baby boy, the tall woman says. Take care of that pretty little ass of yours. She slaps my butt before backpedaling, blowing me an obnoxious kiss and jogging to her shuttle. I'll be right behind. I'm left with the Helldivers. They're smoke and burners, watching me with evil red eyes. First one through gets the bloody damn laurel, I say. Helmets on. Little needs to be said to such men. They nod their heads and grin. We depart. I fly 30 meters upward on my grab boots to land atop of one of the 4 claw drills we confiscated from the Platinum Mining Company in the inner asteroid belt. They stand in a row on the hangar deck, each 50 meters apart, like grasping hands, the cockpit where elbow would be, the dozen drill bits on the deck where fingers would reach. Each is retrofitted by Rolo to have thrusters on the back, and thick plates of armor extend down the sides. I slide into the cockpit, enlarged for my frame and armor, and slip my hands into the digital control prison. Fire them up, I say. The familiar thrum of energy goes through the drill, vibrating the glass around me. I grin like a madman. Perhaps I am one. But I knew I could not win this battle without altering the paradigm. And I knew Roke would never be driven into a trap or lured into an asteroid belt for fear of exposing his larger force to ambushes. So, I had only one recourse. Hide my ambush in a flaw of character. He always preached for me to step back, to find peace. Of course he thought he knew how to beat me, but I'm not fighting as the man he knew today, as a goal. I'm a bloody damn helldiver, with an army of giant, mildly psychotic women behind me, and a fleet of state-of-the-art warships crewed by pissed-off pirates, engineers, techs, and former slaves. And he thinks he knows how to fight me? I laugh as the claw drill shakes my seat, filling me with a dormant, crazed sort of power. An enemy boarding party breaches the hangar from the same grab lift we took. They stare up at the huge claw drills and evaporate as Victra's shuttle fires a railgun at them from point-blank range. Remember the words of our golden leader, I say to the Helldivers. Sacrifice, obedience, prosperity. These are the better parts of humanity. Bloody damn slag, one says over the comm. I'll show her the better part of my humanity. Drill's hot, I order. They echo confirmation, one by one. Helmets up! Let's burn! I flip the rotation toggle on my claw drill clockwise. Beneath, the drill whirs. I plunge both hands forward in the control prism. Existence shakes. Teeth rattle. The metal deck sags under me. Molten metal peels back. I lurch 10 meters down into the ship, carving through the deck in 5 seconds. And the one after that. I sink again, falling through the floor of the hangar bay completely. Chewed metal around the cockpit. Then the next deck goes. Then the next. Heat builds along the drill as I slam through more of the ship, leaving the Valkyrie behind. Slow, the drill jams. Slow, and you die. And this speed is the pulse of my people. Momentum flowing into more momentum. My claw drill is building up a hell of a pace, slamming through the decks, murdering metal with molten tungsten carbide teeth. I glimpse fractured sights of the other claw drills ripping through the heart of the ship as we fall through the dimly lit barracks. Each drill glowing with heat and then slamming into the next deck. It is a glorious, horrible sight. Going through a mess hall, through a water tank, then a hallway where a boarding party stumbles back from the debris and stares at the megalithic drills carving through the ship like the molten hands of some hilarious metal god. Don't slow! I roar, entire body convulsing in the seat. I'm out of control, going too fast, drill too hot. Then, nothing. I breach the belly of the packs. Silence of space grips me. Weightless. I float like a spear through water towards the huge colossus. Leechcraft bound for the packs streak past me. One close enough I can see the captain's wide eyes inside the cockpit. Another flies straight into my superheated drill's mouth. Shredded in seconds. Men and debris cartwheel to the side. The other drills exit farther down the Pax's belly, bursting into space, diving for the moonbreaker. Around us, the battle rages. Blue explosions, huge fields of flak. Mustangs group racing along the edge of Roke's formations, exchanging punishing broadsides. Several still waits, hiding. I can feel the confusion in the enemy gunners. I'm in the center of their Leechcraft assault teams. They can't fire. Their computers won't even register the vessel classification. It'll look like a hunk of debris shaped like an arm from the elbow down. I doubt the bridge will even know what it is without seeing it with their naked eye. Blast engines, I say. The engines of the retrofitted claw drill kick behind me and hurl me down at the black surface of the Colossus. Recognizing my threat, a Ripwing sprays me with chain gun rounds. Thumb-sized bullets slam silently into the drill. The armor holds. Not so on the claw drill beside mine. When a railgun round fired from a 5-meter gun along the top crest of the Moonbreaker punches through the cockpit, murdering the Helldiver in it, his ship shatters. One of his drill bits slams into my glass cockpit, cracking it. A dozen more rounds shred the Leechcraft beside me. Rogue might not know what the 30-meter projectiles coming from my ship are, but he's willing to kill his own men to stop their approach. Grey metal blurs toward me. A railgun slug, fired from the Colossus, punches through 3 Leechcraft in front of my ship before striking the bottom of my claw drill, at the wrist. It tears up the length of the drill, erupts up through the floor of my cockpit, between my legs, inches from my balls, scraping along my chest, almost taking my head off at the jaw. I jerk back, and the slug slams into the metal support of the cockpit, shattering the glass and bending the bar outward like a melting plastic straw. I gasp, knocked half unconscious by the kinetic energy transference. White spots flash across my vision. I shake myself, trying to bring my senses back. But of course, this rig isn't meant for steering. About to slam into the Moonbreaker's deck. Instinct doesn't save me. My friends do. The claw drill's engines are slave to the bank of blues back on Orion's ship. Someone reverses the thrusters at the last moment so I don't crash. I'm slammed back in my seat as the claw drill slows and then lands gently onto the surface of the Colossus. I jerk in my seat, laughing in fear. Bloody damn! I whoop to my distant savior, whoever they are. Thank you! But the claw drill itself is all manual. Blues can't operate the digits any better than I can plot slingshots around a planet. My hands dance over the controls, flowing into my old mode of labor. I reactivate the drill, using my engines to push me down like a nail into the surface of the ship. Metal wheezes, bolts rattle, and I begin to gnaw through the top layer of armor, which they said no Leechcraft could penetrate. Pressure hisses out around my drill. I ramp up the revolutions, my hands dancing through the controls, shifting the drill bits as they overheat, cycling through cooled units. Space disappears. I burrow into the warship, carving not in a straight line, but a tunnel toward the front of the ship. 1 deck, 2 decks, chewing through halls and barracks and generators and gas lines. It's hideous, and as savage a thing as I've ever done. I just pray I don't. Men and women and debris fly out into space through the hole I've carved, like autumn leaves sucked from the various deck levels I penetrate. Bulkheads will seal off the wounds, but those caught between the bulkheads and the tunnel are good as dead. 300 meters into the ship, my claw drill breaks down. Drill bits spent and engine overheating. I reach down to pop my cockpit canopy to abandon the drill, but my hand slips on the lever. Blood coats it. I search my body frantically, but my armor isn't punctured. The blood isn't from me. It floats off the right cockpit wall, slick around the round railgun slug that pierced the 3 Leechcraft to embed itself in the support beam of my claw drill. Bits of hair and a fragment of bone clump in the clotting blood. I leave my claw drill behind for the vacuum of the tunnel I carved. Air no longer gushing from the ship. It's calm now, the pressure already vented, and the emergency bulkheads closed to quarantine the compromised hull. The gravity generator in this section of the ship must have been hit. My hair floats in my helmet. I look up. At the end of the tunnel, where I penetrated the hull, is a little keyhole to the stars. A dead man drifts just beyond it, slowly spiraling. A shadow grips him as Antonia's flagship passes beyond, blocking the light reflected from Jupiter's surface. Like the man, I'm left in darkness, alone in the belly of the Colossus. My comm a flood of war chatter. Victra is launching from our hangar. Orion and the Moon Lords are in flight, knocked off the poles of Io and bound for Jupiter. Mustang's flagship is now under assault by Roke's ship, as Antonia leads the rest of his fleet after the retreating Telemonasus and Raz. Still, Cerro waits. 30 meters above me, something moves out from one of the levels I carved through, peering into the 20-meter wide tunnel. My helmet identifies an active weapon. I fly upward, activating my pulse shield as I go, only to find a young grey staring at me through the plastic faceplate of an emergency oxygen mask. He floats, one arm holding a ragged length of metal wall. Blood coats him. Not his own. The body of one of his friends floats behind him. He's shaking. My drill must have gone through his entire platoon. And then space pulled their bodies out, leaving him alone here. The terror of me is reflected in his eyes. He raises his scorcher, and I react without thinking, putting my razor into the side of his heart. I make him a carcass. He dies wide-eyed and young, and he floats there upright, till I put my foot on his chest so I can pull my blade out. We drift away from each other, little droplets of blood dancing off my blade in the zero gravity. Then the gravity generators reboot and my feet clump to the floor. The blood splatters over them. His body flops to the ground. Light floods in behind me from the tunnel shaft. I pull myself away from the dead man and peer up into the tunnel to see a shuttle ripping in out of space. More follow. A whole cavalcade of assault craft led by Victra. Rip wings chase them, but mounted guns on the back of the assault craft spray high-energy, fist-sized rounds at them, shredding the Rip wings. More will come. Hundreds more. We must move fast. Speed and aggression are only advantage here. Victor's transport slows dramatically in the tunnel beyond my level, just above the claw drill. Valkyrie pour out to join me. More transports unload on levels above. Holiday and several Reds with battle armor move with the Obsidians, carrying breaching equipment across the airless room, toward the bulkhead's door that seals us off from the rest of the ship. They slam the thermal drill into the metal. It begins glowing red. They deploy a pulse bubble over the metal hatch, so that when we breach, we don't activate more bulkheads. Breach green in 15, Holiday says. Victra stands to the side, listening to enemy chatter. Response teams inbound. More than 2,000 mixed units. She's also patched to the strategic command on Orion's ship, so she can gather battle data from the huge sensor arrays on the flagship. Looks like Roke launched more than 15,000 men at us in his Leechcraft. Most will be in the packs by now, burrowed through to find me. Silly bastards. Roke gambled big, bet wrong. And I've just brought 3,000 crazed Obsidian berserkers to a mostly empty warship. The poet is going to be pissed. 10, Holiday says. Valkyrie! On me! I boom, lifting my hands in a triangle formation. The 100 Obsidians step over the debris of the commissary and gather behind me, just as we trained them to do on the journey from Jupiter. Sephi's on my left hip, Victra's on my right, and Holiday behind. The superheated metal door sags. The Reds and Greys back away. All along the tunnel, the 10 levels I carved through, teams like this will be preparing to breach just like us. 2 of the other claw drills hit home. 2,000 Obsidians are breaching there as well. Greys, Reds, and a scattering of sympathizer golds will lead them against the security forces who take trams and grav lifts to ferry themselves to the new battlefront inside the ship. This is going to be a firestorm. Close quarters combat. Smoke, screams, the worst of all. Full power to shields, I say in Nagal, facing the battery. They ripple iridescent as shields over their armor. Kill anything with a weapon. Harm nothing without one. Doesn't matter the color. Remember our target. Clear me a path. Ergla Ragnar! Ergla Ragnar! They roar, beating their chest, embracing the madness of war. Most will have taken their berserker fungus in the shuttlecraft. They'll feel no pain. They move foot to foot, eager for the succor of battle. Victra vibrates next to me. I remember sitting with her in Nikki's lab as she told me that she loves the smell of battle. The old sweat in the gloves, the oil on the guns, the pulled muscles and shaking hands afterward. It's the honesty of it, I realize. That's what she loves. Battle never lies. Victor, stay at my side, I say. Pair up for the Hydra if we encounter goals. Nyarlathotep, Sephi says from behind me. Sinchirika. There is no pain, only joy, they chant, deep in the embrace of the god's breath. Sephi begins the war bellow, her voice higher than Ragnar's. Her two wing sisters join her, then their wing sisters, until dozens fill the comm with their song, giving me a sense of grandeur as my mind tells my body to flee. This is why the Obsidians chant, not to sow terror, but to feel brave, to feel kinship instead of isolation and fear. Sweat drips down my spine. Fear is not real. Holiday deactivates her safety. Nyarlathotep. My razor goes rigid. Pulse weapon shudders and whines, priming. Body trembles, mouth full of ashes. Wear the mask, hide the man, feel nothing, see everything, move and kill, move and kill. I am not a man, they are not men. The chanting swells. Sintirika! Fear is not real. If you're watching here, it's time to close your eyes. The Reaper has come, and he's brought hell with him. Chapter 47. Hell. Breach! Holiday roars. The door falls open. I rush into the pulse field surrounding the breach point. Everything condenses. Sights, sounds, the movement of my own body. All a haze. Holiday's scatterflash cackles through the 2-meter opening in the bulkhead, frying any unshielded optic nerves on the other side. A secondary fusion grenade detonates. I jump through the hole into the smoke, going right. Victra comes with. Sephi goes left. Enemy fire hits us immediately. My shield cackles with the sound of hail hitting a tin roof. The end of the hall, chaos of muzzle flashes and pulse fire. Superheated projectiles slice through the smoke. I fire my pulse fist, arm jerking spasmodically, ducking and moving so I don't block the entrance. Something slams into me. I stumble into the left wall, superheated particles screaming from my fist. My shield crackles with coil gun rounds that impact the energy barrier and fall, flattened to the ground at my feet. More obsidian fill the hall behind me. They move so fast, it's a cacophony of sound. My tactical mind shoves the facts to the front. We're pinned down. Men die in the breach. Must move forward. Something whizzes past my head. It detonates behind, at the entrance. Limbs and armor slop onto the floor. The helmet mutes the massive noise, saving my eardrums. I stumble forward, trying to get out of the kill zone. Another grenade lands among us, detonating after an obsidian dives upon it. More meat for the grinder. Must close the distance. Can't see anything in front of me. So much smoke. Fire. To hell with this. With a roar of frustration, I activate my grab boots and rocket down the narrow hall 80 kilometers an hour toward our assailants, firing as I go. Flying a meter above the floor. Victra follows. It's a whole squad of 20 greys led by a gold legate in brilliant silver armor. I crash into the gold, razor outstretched, piercing his shield and spearing his brain. Crash to the ground, arm pinned under me. The grey response team separates from one another, keeping me at the center as I struggle to my feet. One shoots an ion charge into my back. Blue lightning spasms over my shields, killing me. I stab one grey through the neck with my razor. 2 others fire into my chest. My armor dents with a dozen rounds. I stumble back. A heavy railgun with a boring round in the chamber levels at my head. I dip and dodge to the side, slipping on blood, going down. The gun goes off and opens a hole the size of a man's head in the floor. Then Victra smashes into the greys, bursting side to side with her grab boots, an angry wrecking ball, shattering bones between the walls and her heavily armored body. Then the Obsidians are among the greys, hacking them to pieces with their pulse axes. The greys are screaming, falling back around the corner where they have fire support. A grey's leg is slashed off by Sethi, and he stumbles, firing his weapon into the wall. She rips his head clean off from behind. This is horror. The smoke, the twitching bodies, and evaporation of blood as it boils out of charred wounds. A dying man's urine pools around my armor, hissing against the superheated barrel of my pulse fist as Victra helps me up. Thanks. A frightening bird helmet nods to me without expression. As the rest of my platoon files through the breach, I move forward to the corner around which several of the greys escape. Another enemy response squad hastily sets up a heavy weapon mounted on a floating crab pod about 30 meters down near a grab lift entrance. When it fires, a quarter of the wall above me melts. I order Holiday to take my place at the corner with Trigg's ambi fire. 4 tins, 1 gold, I say. They've got a mounted QR-13. Slag 'em! She adjusts her rifle's multi-use barrel. Yes, sir. At our breach point, 6 Valkyrie are down. A huge woman's helmet peels back into her armor. She vomits blood. Half her torso smokes, molten armor still melting her flesh. She tries to stand, laughing at the pain, high on God's bread. But this is a new type of war to these women, new injuries. Unable to support herself, the Obsidian slumps against a sister who calls to Sethi. The young queen looks at the wounds and sees Victra shake her head. A quicker learner than the rest of them, Sethi knew well what this war would cost her people. But staring it in the face is something different altogether. She says something of home, something of the sky and the feathers at summer's twilight. I don't see the blade. She slips into the base of the dying woman's skull until she pulls it back out. A hologram of Mustang's face flashes in the corner of my screen. I open the link. Darrow, have you breached? We're in. Double for my teams. Pressing to the bridge now. What's what? You need to hurry. My ship's under heavy fire. We're in. You're supposed to bug out. Head to Thebe. Roke used EMPs. Her voice is tense. Our shielding kept us up, but half my fleet's engines are squabbed. We're sitting dead, punching it out with him. As soon as your claw drill hit, the Colossus started shooting to kill. They're ripping us apart. We're outgunned hard. Main batteries are already at half strength. A sick feeling rises in my gut. Rogue can see us on the cameras in his ship. He knows the strength of my boarding party. It's only a matter of time till I reach the bridge. Soon he'll make an announcement over the comm for me to surrender, or he'll kill her. Get to the gory damn bridge and put him down. Register? Register. I turn to face my troops. We gotta move, I say. Victra, take squad command. I'm going digital. Sethi, range ahead. Holiday, anytime, Victra says eagerly, pacing back and forth in the hall. The little lion needs our help. Come on, come on! Hold your tits, Holiday mutters, adjusting her rifle and toggling the corner shot feature. The barrel joints rotate, so it peeks around to the wall and feeds the visual link directly into her bionic eye. 4 quick bursts tear out of the gun, 30 rounds each from the back of her armor. Go! Victor and I burst around the corner, eating up meters as a Grey tries to take his companion's place at the gun. I cut him down with my pulse fist, and Victor exchanges a 4-move cravat set with the gold, before skewering him with a thrust to the chest. I finish him with a stab to the throat. Holiday has her commandos haul the QR-13 with us, only able to keep pace with our long legs because of our heavy armor. As we press for the bridge at a full sprint, other elements of my invasion force make for vital ship functions with a frantic speed. It's a lightning strike. Greys can't move with this speed because they rely on tactics, leapfrog maneuvers, corner shots, and sly tech. The Obsidian are straight, battering rams. It's tempting to surge ahead, focus only on getting to the bridge. But I can't abandon my plan. My platoons need me to guide them using the battle map on my HUD. Speaking to Red and Grey platoon leaders, I coordinate on the run as Victor leads us through the maze of metal halls and ambushes. As the platoons are pinned down, I use my comm to maneuver other platoons through grav lifts and halls to flank entrenched security teams. It's an intricate dance. Not only are we racing against the destruction of Mustang ship, but we're racing against the return of the Leech crowd. Rogue knows this, and less than 3 minutes into our insertion, the ship goes into full lockdown protocol. All grav lifts and trams and bulkheads sealed off, creating a honeycomb of obstacles throughout the ship. We can only advance 50 meters at a time. It's a devilish system. Pins down boarding forces, security teams with digital keys run about the ship at ease, flanking and creating deadly kill boxes and crossfires that can shred even a boarding party like mine. There's no way to combat it. This is the grind of war. No matter the tech or the tactics, it all comes down to terrifying moments, crouching chalk-bound at a corner as a friend lays down cover fire. You try not to trip over the high-tech gear that's wrapped around your body as you advance, head lowered, legs churning. It's not bravery, it's fear of
Fuck, man. Son of a fucking bitch. Just can't fucking get it. There should be plenty of fucking space.